Hi, I'm Christina, and this is New Ways Podcast. Today, my guest is a breathwork facilitator and a man of the world, Javier Moyano. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to do my first podcast with you.
I'm so excited that you're here, you guys. Javier just got off of a flight from Costa Rica to be here. Ooh. So I appreciate you. That's where I met him. But despite all of that, the topic of conversation we are talking about today is something that I am obsessed with and very passionate about because it's been so influential in my own life, is breathwork and how breathwork essentially saved your life.
Yes, it did.
So how about we start in the beginning? Anybody interested in breathwork, please listen to this because I'm such a firm believer in holistic measures to improve your health. To start your story, you were in the Navy when you got sick. So let's start there. Tell me about that.
Okay. So it was 2020, right when COVID started becoming a thing. And I was out to sea on the carrier. And we were just seeing the news on the TVs that we have on the carrier, everything's closed down and we're just stuck on a ship in the middle of nowhere. So it really didn't affect us that much. But it was just, I don't know. I felt like I was in kind of like a dream or like a movie. Like I'm in an aircraft carrier while the world is like on lockdown. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, is something else happening that I don't know? And so we all will dream up like these crazy scenarios. I'm like, what's actually going on? Like, what is going on back home? Whoever could make up the craziest story would.
Yeah, like you're in your own world on a ship.
All right, so I got a little sidetracked there.
But, okay, that's part of the story though. Yeah. So you're on this carrier in the Navy. You hear about COVID, and then dun.
And then it was right before we were about to pull into our first port, which was Vietnam. And so I've been out to sea for 2-3 months now, without seeing land. And I'm like, no, we're getting off. I don't care if we have COVID or whatever. But Vietnam at the time didn't have any restrictions or anything. So they allowed us to pull in. And I was able to spend 3-4 days just of freedom out there. Actually longer because we got our first case of COVID being out in Vietnam. And they didn't allow us to go back on the ship because it's such a close quarter space. Yeah. That they're like, okay, we have to make sure we quarantine this person. And then you guys are allowed to come back on. So we just kept waiting 2 more days. And then they flew everybody back on the ship eventually. And that's soon after is when I got COVID.
Oh my gosh. To me, that's crazy because it's it was spreading like wildfire and some people did get it. Some people didn't. The severity was so different, but they made you stay in one place because of one guy and didn't expect other people to have it too after being in a place populated by COVID.
I think since it was so new that they just didn't know what to do, how to go about it. Everything was so fast. So it was
it did spread like wildfire. I will admit that. 1 second it's just a few people are sick. The next, the world is shutting down and everyone thinks it's ending. But kind of did for a little bit. Yeah. But so you get COVID, you're on this ship.
I get COVID, I'm on the ship, and I actually get so sick. I've been kind of malnutrition for 3 months. I'm not getting any sun. I'm been stuck in a metal container. And so it hits me pretty bad. I got a really bad
without
fever.
sun?
I know. Can you believe it?
I can't even imagine that, but continue. I'm sorry. Yeah. Probably down bad.
I was pale. Everybody could see that I was sick. And I just started getting aches all over my body. And I had a lymph node in my groin area that started to really just grow a lot, and it started affecting my lower abdomen. And so I was just in pain everywhere, physical, mental, emotional. It did its number on me. Yeah. For sure. So eventually they saw that I was sick and they flew me out to Guam to be quarantined. And the first couple of days I'm in pain. I remember being in fetal position in the bathroom with hot water. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something. And my mind's kind of running a toll on me because all I'm hearing about COVID is people are dying. And
oh my gosh.
I'm away from civilization.
And you can only trust what you're hearing on the news, which was not the best or the most accurate information either. Oh my gosh. And I was making fun of this man before when I heard about it. You, a little Boston boy in a hospital in Guam, sick with COVID. must have been an experience to say the least.
Yeah. So it started off like, oh my God. Not that I was scared, but I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then they said that they were going to come and like bring us medicine and food. They took their time. And so I was like, okay, I can't wait on them to try to feel better. So I try to like look for holistic ways to heal myself. I'm like, the body is so smart. Like there has to be a natural way for our body to like at least help aid in getting better and feeling better and fighting these symptoms. So I came across the documentary of Wim Hof. And if you guys don't know who Wim Hof is, he's from the Netherlands, and has his own breath work that's kind of like holotropic, and he involves cold exposure as well, and he uses both of them to basically heal your body. There's a lot more that goes into it. You can look him up on Instagram. He's pretty big now. You guys probably know.
Yeah. So a few things. How'd you learn about the body being able to heal itself? Because I feel like that's such a foreign concept to so many people. Is their first line of defense is, I'm going to rely on the medical system. What sparked that interest?
I think it was like getting pushed back to a point where I didn't have any access to this. Like I couldn't go to a hospital. I couldn't get any pharmaceuticals that I'm used to, like to get rid of symptoms. So like, I don't know, something just like struck me and was like, wait, there has to be a way to heal yourself naturally. Like, which was beautiful. And I came soon after I came across the Wim Hof Method, and I was like, oh, this is meant to be. I felt like the instant alignment, and I put it to the test right after I watched the documentary.
So you kind of just had like a little voice that sparked your interest, and you were like, oh, okay, let me actually explore it instead of saying it's stupid. Yeah. Like you listened to yourself, actually. Yeah. I love that. And was this before or after? Because you said that you had surgery to remove lymph nodes, correct?
Right. This was before.
This was before?
Yes.
Okay, so now kind of like talk to me about the progression of you being introduced to Wim Hof and then the surgery and how it kind of combined it and you moved through that.
Okay, so yeah. As soon as I finished watching the documentary, I started using some of the breathwork. You had like a free YouTube video on it. 3 rounds of 30 to 40 like pretty deep breaths. And then at the last breath, you do like a small exhale, and then you hold your breath.
Is it like a slow, small exhale?
Yeah, like a stop. Like you don't want to fully let out. Like you still want to keep some air.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And then he teaches you like you'll be able to hold your breath a lot longer because you're tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system in doing so. So I was like super excited. I'm like, oh my God, I just held my breath for like 3 minutes. That's crazy.
Don't they train you to do that stuff in the Navy?
I mean, yeah, but not 3 minutes. That's insane.
Yeah.
Special warfare people, like I wasn't in the special warfare. But there's a lot of them, like divers and stuff, definitely could hold their breath that way. They probably use similar methods to the Wim Hof method.
I would think, yeah. Okay, so you learned how to hold your breath 3 minutes, and we're super excited about it.
And I started feeling like I have power. Like, oh my God, I do have power in myself. Like maybe this is a real thing. So I did it again the next morning, and I also did a cold shower because that's part of it. And instantly, like most of my symptoms went away, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is great." So every day I was doing every morning, like right when I woke up, I would do 4 rounds of breath work.
Okay.
On the Wim Hof method, and I never felt better. I felt better than even before going into my deployment with the Navy. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that.
And I was like really in tune with my body. I was like, even with meals, even though we were only getting 1 meal a day, like that would satisfy me. I'd even need more because I was doing so much breath work. I was like, oh, Javi, like you could use this little bit of external like nutrition, to just like keep your body going. And like I realized I didn't need a lot of things outside of me during this time. And all right, I keep getting sidetracked, but let's. So basically, 3 months later, they fly me back to San Diego. And I still doing the breath work, but I still have this lump like right in my groin area from my lymph node. And I go see the doctor. I'm like, okay, like my abdomen's kind of hurting. Like I need to do something about this. And he's like, oh, like if it's bothering you that much and it's that big, and he could feel it. He's like, wow, that's really tender. We have to check to see if it's cancerous.
Yeah, lymph nodes are not supposed to stay big. They'll get big when you're sick, but once you're not sick, they're not supposed to be big like that.
Right. So I was like, okay, well, do whatever you have to do to like make me feel better.
Well, yeah, somebody mentions cancer. You're
Yeah.
like, yes, please, let's figure this out sooner than later. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like that he gave me the choice. He's like, do you just want to like take I don't know what the name is,
A
but
biopsy, like a piece of it, or do you want to remove it?
right. I was like, at the time I was like, oh, remove it. I don't want this thing like affecting my abdomen. Like, I just want to be able to work out again and not feel pain and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they did. Like they listened and they took it out. But soon after, my body started basically not rejecting me, but it was like angry with me because I did that.
Yeah.
And I was in the worst pain like I've been ever. Like this whole ordeal with the COVID and me being sick, like this was the worst pain. And I woke up with basically what I had when I first initially got COVID, and my whole body was 10 times worse in pain. I felt like I was 50 years old in the 26-year-old
After the surgery.
body. Yeah, after the surgery.
Oh, wow.
And I could see like I was leaking lymphatic fluid like in my dress uniform for the military.
So you were still in the military when you got this removed?
Yes, but they gave me time off. But
yeah. What were doctors saying? Why, like, what were they saying about you having that much pain?
They're like, oh, don't worry, like it's gonna go away. They gave me like a lot of stuff for it, like a lot of like
pain meds,
but that did not work at all. They even gave me shots and everything, and it was like, okay, this is not working.
Well, pain meds essentially they mask your symptoms. They don't heal your body.
Right.
So
I was like, all right, well, nothing's working. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I gotta go back to the Wim Hof Method, to the breathing and the because I stopped it while thinking that I was gonna be healed from the
surgery.
Yeah. And like, oh yeah, they know what they're doing. Obviously not.
Obviously not. Okay, so surgery's done. You start Wim Hof.
Yeah.
And how'd that progress?
Right away again, like I did my breath work and I felt my nervous system was more calm.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in pain. And then I would go do an ice bath, like a cold shower. And I would feel great for like maybe an hour and then the pain would come back. But I'm like, okay, so I could kind of regulate this. Like I have to do it ever so often, but it was like alleviating my pain much more than what the doctors had to offer me. So I was like, okay, back to the Wim Hof Method. Let's go. And then I just started doing it again and again for like the next 3 weeks. And again, my pain went away. Like it didn't fully go away, but it was so manageable. Like I was like, okay, I could go back to work and everything like that. So yeah, the Wim Hof Method literally brought me back.
Did you do anything else different besides that though?
No.
That's what I'm like, you want to look for an answer and be like, did I do anything different? Because that's a drastic change though, is you going from being in pain every single day for a while. It seems like doctors saying, oh, it's nothing. And I do get the body does heal itself, but it seems like the breath work was able to help you relax your nervous system enough so it can do its job. Because I'm also a believer too, when your body is not like in a restful state, it's putting its energy into other places. Like you're overthinking, you're giving your energy off, and it doesn't actually have enough energy to heal itself. So that's what I think is like so cool about breath work, is it relaxes your nervous system in a way.
Yeah.
And it allows you to just like be present, be here, and your body knows it's safe and it can actually do what it's meant to do instead of us freaking out all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's like so easily accessible as well. Like,
yeah.
We have unlimited access to this breath.
Yeah.
And like, so at first I was like, is it really like this simple? Like,
why not? Why do we have to complicate things? That's the thing, is everyone's like, it can't just be this easy. Yes, it can be. Let things be easy, okay? It is okay for them to be easy.
Right.
That's something I actually I started doing this around COVID actually, because I was going through a very interesting time in my life. Things were changing drastically. I was out of a relationship. I moved out of the town I was living in. I started travel nursing and I saw all these COVID cases. I just started telling myself, everything comes easy to me. And that doesn't mean that I don't put in the work, but like it seemed a little bit more free flowing when you allowed things to just happen the way that they should. So I love that you started that. And your story is just so interesting too, because there's blessings in disguise in your story as well. So let's talk about you getting discharged from the military then. How did that happen?
Okay. It's actually a very funny
Not the military,
story.
the Navy, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. So after the surgery,
yes,
they gave me like 2-3 weeks to heal basically. So I was home and that's when I was in a lot of pain. and I started doing the Wim Hof stuff again. And then eventually when I came back to work, I still had this hole in me, like where they did the surgery, like it didn't close up by itself. And I was like asking them like, what's going on here? They're like, oh, here, just like, they gave me like cotton balls to like, just keep there.
To get the fluid off. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You're like, okay, thanks. I could have went to Walgreens.
Yeah.
But
the thing about the military too, or the Navy, is that they do have everything to take care of you, but you have to advocate for yourself. Like, basically you have to care about yourself to go and do it, because they're not gonna like search for you, be like, oh, are you okay? No, like you have to really advocate for yourself. So that I did.
Yeah.
So we go out to sea again for like 2 weeks, and I'm starting to be a little pain again. I'm not doing breath work on the ship. I'm working like 16 hours a day or 14 hours a day around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the time I'm sleeping or having a meal. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm in my dress uniform and people are asking me like, what's this wet? Like, why is it wet over here? And I'm like, I didn't even notice at first.
Stop.
I was like, no. And then I look and I'm like, oh, that's the hole where they took out where they took out my lymph node. And it's leaking lymphatic fluid, which I think.
In your uniform at work on the ship.
Right. And then I was like, oh, this can't be good. This definitely. And then it started looking like a little infected. So I was like, okay, I need to do something now. Like I have to take care of myself right now, because this could go bad. We're still out to sea.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a medical on board to help you, but there's not. So I basically go to my commander at the time, and I pulled down my pants in front of like in front of like 10 of my chiefs, my commanders, and I'm like, yeah, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And one of them really like, he took it to heart, and he like brought me up to all the way like the master chief, which is like one of the top players on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought it up to him, and they did take care of me. They're like, okay, for the rest of the time out, like just be in your bed, just do whatever you need to take care of yourself. And then when we go back into ports, we'll take care of you. Which I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to port, and they kind of put me with like a group of people who are going through medical issues as well, that they might transition out of the military, but also might stay in, depending on like what's the better option for the military and for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, like I got with the people that basically told me that you could get out, Javi. Like you already almost done with your contract.
Mm-hmm.
And since this happened to you and like it's actually affecting your body on a daily basis, like you could get compensation.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody could get compensation in the military. It's like through the VA, like you take a test and all that stuff. But I just had like an extra due to this.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was a blessing. They took care of me. It was like another year and a half of like doing work and working with them and stuff like that. But eventually I got out with 100% basically like disability from the military. And yeah, now I get like a pension kind of.
I was going to say, so going through it though, how did you feel about everything that was going on? Did you feel like this was like the world kind of ending around you? You were like, what is going on? Or were you, for lack of term, like excited about getting out? I'm just curious.
I was excited, but also like what I was going through during that time was not exciting.
Yeah.
Because my body was still like in pain most of the time, and I couldn't be as active as I wanted to, like I used to. Like I'm a very active person. Like soon after work, I would always go like play soccer or go for a run and do all that stuff. I literally stopped for like a year, and it took like a toll physically, obviously, but emotionally.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where like almost self-harm was happening because I didn't know how to like deal with it.
Well, I mean, I'd probably just be scared. I'd be scared. I'm like, is this how my life is going to be from now on? Am I going to be struggling with health issues?
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be what's in the back of my mind, because if you're sick for that long and then you do what the doctors tell you to do and that's not working, I'd be like, is there any light in the distance?
Yeah, I guess the light in the distance was knowing that they were going to take care of me with the pension and stuff like that.
Yeah. But so you got out, and then what did you do when you got out?
Like for work or
anything. So like this is kind of where I'm getting to too, is you actually trained with Wim Hof, no? You're breath work coach, breath work facilitator, like certified.
Right.
Talk to me about that process. So you started a breath work through your medical journey.
Yeah.
And then you just decided to go and get certified.
So as soon as I got out of the military, I kept up with the Wim Hof method.
Yeah.
And I like, for months on end, I would do it and I'll feel great. And then I'll stop and I'll see like, oh, wait, damn, I feel like shit again. So that's when I started to recognize that this thing that I have going on is going to be like an ongoing thing. Like it's not something I could just cure. It's something that I have to work with on a daily basis kind of. And at first that kind of took a toll on me. Like I was like, damn, I have to keep up with this every day. Like
the breath work every day?
Well, just like keeping up, doing the breath work and doing all this stuff every day just so I can maintain my pain levels and stuff like that. And I did go through a time where I was like, oof, I don't know if I want to deal with this every day. I was kind of like almost in a victim mindset, which is not the best. But then I was like, no, Javi, like just this is a blessing. Like you found this breath work. You see how powerful it is. Like, let's go into it deeper. And I started doing more rounds a couple times a day. And I was able to start running again and playing soccer and all that stuff. I'm like, oh. And I started really doing the cold plunges as well. And that was like a game changer. That was like instant bringing me back to my breath. And I would get like this high after doing my cold plunge. And my body would feel great. That's when I would go work out and do stuff like do the most I can because I know like later on in the day I will come back and like be a little painful. So I was like, all right, well, if this can help me, I wonder who else it can help. And I started looking into the Wim Hof certification program. And I just one day was like, I think I'm going to go and get certified. And I signed up and I went to the Pyrenees Mountains and between Spain and France and did like a 10-day certification with them. And it was so beautiful.
Oh my goodness. That sounds beautiful. Going to which mountains you said in France?
The Pyrenees Mountains is between Spain and France.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking me? I know it was 10 days. Do you mind talking me a little bit about like the gist of what they taught you there? Any like life altering things or like just words of wisdom, certain anything, things that stick.
Yeah. Yeah, there was quite a bit of things, but I'd say a big thing they told me is like the breath is like a bridge between like our outside world, like our 3D world, and like our inner world. And they gave this scenario where it's like, what happens when you don't breathe for like 30 seconds? You lose consciousness. So
wait, when you don't breathe for 30 seconds?
Not 30 seconds, just like if you hold your breath for long enough.
Definitely.
Right? So this is like the one thing that we do constantly every day that's keeping us alive. Like,
and you don't even think about it. It's just natural. Your body just knows to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that stuck with me so much. I'm like, oh my God, it is like a bridge between like my life and like, I guess my spirit or something like that. Yeah. And I don't know why that stuck with me so hard, but I realized that the more I did like breathe and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I can hold my breath longer. Like it was just the life force. Like breath is your life. Breath is life, basically.
Yeah, a lot of my instructors will say, well, for one, breath is life. Because if you don't breathe, if you're not breathing, what are you? You're dead. That's usually what it is. Is you stop breathing, people are like, oh, they're gone. So it is literally like your life force because it is what keeps everything in our body kind of does rely on oxygen-rich blood. If you don't have oxygen-rich blood throughout your organs and your body actually starts to shut down. So that's why we worry about people's blood pressure in the hospital. I'm not going to get all technical in it, but it is essentially your life force. But like what a lot of my breath coaches will tell us is like, it can control your life. Like just taking a breath really sets the tone for things. And like, none of us are actually breathing the way that we should. A lot of us are shallow breathers. Therefore, we're not getting the amount of oxygen that we're supposed to. And our nervous system does think that you're in fight or flight because when you're running, what do? You're breathing shallowly, you're running fast. So it's like if you just take a minute to like, it works wonders in so many aspects of your life. What is the most influential moment you have with breath work? Like, what does it do for you? Because I can rant all day about what it does for me.
Yeah.
I was telling you how I just got back from a session. And to me, I'm just like, it's like you're on drugs, but you're not on drugs. I'm like, if you get into it, besides it just making your nervous system regulated, I like get epiphanies.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I'm connected to something bigger than myself because you're like, oh shit. I don't know how else to describe it.
I think to extend on that, that's probably one of my biggest takeaways is that breathwork for me is like an active meditation because I was never good at quieting my mind, and breathwork like kind of like forces you to quiet your mind because you're only focused on your breath. And so Wim Hof and like what they teach there is like the breath will bring you out of your analytical mind and allow you to tap into like basically like your soul, like
your natural state of being.
Natural state of being.
Yeah.
And through that, being in that state, like a lot of things would just flow for you better. Basically, like your body would just start operating better. How did he put it exactly?
Don't they always sound like so magical when they say
know,
it, and you try to do it again and you're like, give me, you don't have to say this exact words, because Lord knows I've heard so many amazing quotes and I'm like, oh, so inspirational. And I say it and I'm like, sound like a 5-year-old at like a kindergarten presentation. And I'm like, sorry, but best words. What do you think they were trying to at least like establish with the words he was saying?
That the body knows what it's doing. Like a lot of the issues that we deal with on a daily basis comes from our mind. So if you could shut off your analytical mind and just let the body do its thing, you're fine. Like you're great. Like it'll heal. It'll do what it never needs to do. But if you keep creating these like ideas of like, oh, this is not happening and this is not happening, and like all this, you know, your monkey mind's just going and going.
Oh
and going.
my God, the monkey mind. It's like, it's so funny because I'm a firm believer. I've read so many different philosophy books and psych books and like spiritual books, and the mind is actually supposed to like just help you, like whatever your heart and your body wants to create come into fruition. I don't know how we got to the point where we're letting our minds run the show when it's not actually even us.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. There's like the whole thing in spirituality where like your heart is actually like the real you and it knows what you want. And if you just listen, it can't talk, but it like sends messages to your brain, and your brain should bring that out then. But we stop listening to our heart and our bodies and we get all in our head now. So I don't know if that resonates at all.
It does. I heard a saying, I don't know if, I think it has to go along with your saying, is that the mind needs the heart way more than the heart needs the mind.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that.
And I don't know, I think I've heard it recently, actually, arrhythmia, which will be our next topic.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
And at the time, I don't know why, it just struck me so much. I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Like the mind keeps you like in the past and in the future, and like it kind of takes you away from the present moment, but like your heart is here to be here in the moment.
Yeah.
And like that's why we kind of run away from, like our mind runs away from the present moment, because in the present moment, that's where like feelings lie. And
yeah, no, it sounds great, and I don't want to go on a tangent either about this whole mind heart thing, to be honest with you, but I'm like, there's something else. Is like something else I read too was like, your mind actually like can be influenced by everybody around you, because we're constantly getting in all this like feedback from everything. So like your mind can be manipulated, but your heart can't. It doesn't think, it just knows. Where your mind is constantly thinking and trying to figure things out, your heart doesn't think, it doesn't have that capability, it just knows things. So it's like, what are you going to listen to? The thing that's actually inside you and probably knows, or this little voice up here that's taking in details from everybody else and it's influenced by it. I read that and I was like, oh, that's so right. Like, the heart doesn't have to fucking think, it just does. It is. On that note then too, to kind of wrap up, I know you are back in California for a little bit, in San Diego for a few months, and you want to do some things in your community there with Breathwork.
Yes.
So I hope, can you share that with us, what you kind of plan on doing, just for any of the listeners that are in San Diego potentially can see you work your magic and teach Breathwork?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
So before I left on this journey that I went on this past year, I was working with a gym called Motivity Fit. And I was doing classes with them, breathwork classes, and also like kind of like day long, we call it like a fundamentals workshop. And that goes into like the science behind the method. We do a cold plunge, we do breath work. And then I also usually like cook a meal for people just to get the whole vibe. But something that I really want to bring this time that's new is I live in a mountain town near San Diego called Julian. And there's like a little town hall that everybody uses for events. So I think I'm gonna start doing events there where it's like a ceremonial, like cacao and breathwork event. Yeah. And I just want to see like how, I know how it affects me, and I know it's such a powerful thing. So I think it could really affect like a small community like Julian.
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful for breathwork. I stumbled upon it just in a time. For me, I was physically healthy. It's definitely brought like my stamina, me feeling better in my body up. But for me, it just gave me so much mental clarity. And it just made me feel like everything was going to be okay in a moment of chaos in my life. So anybody who is interested, please like look at resources. Honestly, you can message me. I'm sure Javi won't even care if you mention him asking about it. All of his info will be in the description below in the episode. And any last words before we kind of end this lovely discussion that you blessed me with?
If you're curious about breathwork, just dive into it. Like if you're curious, that means there's something there that wants you to maybe just venture into it. And I will tell you from my experience that that was the best thing I've ever done in my life. So
I love that. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So much. And thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I love you guys. Boom.
Damn, that went by
Right?
fast.
It goes by fast.
I could have